Hi guys, my name is Alexander and you are watching the Be Strong YouTube channel. Ball. So, this week I am filming at the end of week 2. I'm very aware that in the last video that I said I would film at the end of week 1, but last week was just so hectic. Sunday rolled around, which is the day that I tend to do this filming, and that was just sort of sparked out. I spent the entire day doing my impression of a starfish. I'm trying not to use things to fidget with on the desk while I'm talking. There's so many things to me to touch. So week 1 went really well. Obviously very nervous on the beginning of my first class. The classes I'm running are only an hour long, so there's not a lot of time for me to do a lot of the ums and ahs and overthinking. Just got in, said hello to everyone that turned up, introduced everyone to each other, and got the classes going, so we're doing 10 minutes of warming up, 40 minutes of drills and teaching, and then doing a bit of pad work at the end for like last 20 to 15 minutes. And the first class went really well, and I learnt a lot from my first experience. So in my first class I had 5 people turn up, which I'm really happy with. Obviously that was their first class, and the way I'm running things, your first class is free, so I'm happy that many people turned up, especially for my first class. The Thursday session, my second class, only 2 people turned up, but I sort of expected that. I'd already been pre-warned that a number of people can only turn up to the Mondays, so I'm more than happy with the first session being 5 and the Thursdays being 2. Now, what I found is it's really interesting to see how different people move from a teacher-student perspective. I've trained with a lot of people in the past, but I never actually noticed or never actually realised how different and how diverse the way that people move actually is. So teaching one person how to do a left hook can be completely different from how you teach another person. One person doesn't pivot enough, one person overextends, one person drops the guard, one person goes completely off balance. So having that variety definitely makes me learn about the principles of each drill and each move. So I'm finding that really interesting. I'm really happy as well that I also bought so much kit. It sort of lends help to me, because I can say, look, you don't need any kit at all. Just if you want to join, rock up. You don't need anything. There's kit available, and every person, apart from 2 people that turned up, actually needed the kit. So that was also really helpful. If anything, I did have a little bit too much kit, too many weapons or too many pads, too many gloves. There was a little bit of a rush at the end of the class where I tried to cram everything back in, like just get out of the room as quick as you can. Because obviously I'm paying for the room for every hour, so trying to cram all the kit into the bag. Obviously, as ever, it didn't go in exactly how it came out, but that's something that I'll figure out as we go on. Class 3, the following Monday, the nerves weren't really there. Obviously very introduced to people now, so I was quite happy with that. Still trying to figure out the timings, getting the right patterns together, the right body types. One person turns up with his son, which that guy I'm very close to, and he loves it. So it's just making sure that I'm getting everything crammed into that 1 hour. And that's where we get down to writing up the classes and actually not giving out too much information, because I want to make sure that I'm passing on the right amount of information, but not so much in detail that nothing's going to go in. So for this month, as I've previously said, I'm focusing on boxing techniques. So I've got 2 drills in mind. Unfortunately, I've only managed to get 1 drill done to completion, but now we're at the end of week 2. The people who have turned up, they know what the drill is. So now tomorrow, for week 3, I can start teaching the second drill, and by the end of the month I can say, right, you know your warm up, so now just do the warm up for 10 minutes, and then we'll get straight on to pad work. You know what both drills, there's very little complication or confusion. That way I can start just fine-tuning it a little bit, and they can get a really good workout in. Even though we've only done 2 weeks so far, people have already said that they're quite happy with how I teach. I probably will change as I evolve as a teacher, as my experience and my knowledge base increases. My teaching style will change, but at the moment people are very happy with it. I'm not going into any long rants or diatribes about something. Class 4, the 4th session, the end of week 2, I had a new guy turn up. He did mention that he was intending on turning up. You get a lot of that in martial arts. People say, oh yeah, I want to get involved, I want to start, and they never do. But this person said, I fancy coming down. If you're available on a Thursday, or if I'm available on a Thursday, I'll turn up. Obviously he's got some family responsibilities and work responsibilities, but it's good for him to know that I'm there. So if he can't go to one of his other classes, he can always come to one of mine. So I'm happy with that he can just turn up, and that means then hopefully he can mention it to other people. So, oh, that class was really good, and word of mouth will be spread. If that's how you say that. So going into week 3, the next step is pretty much stay the course. It's worked for the past 2 weeks, so add a few more details in so people don't get too bored, but people don't forget what they've learned already. Add a few more things, a few more nuances, a few more moves. As I've already said, add another drill in and start helping people not only improve their striking ability, but holding pads is an entire different skill onto its own. So making people capable and competent of holding pads. You tend to find that new pad holders, they tend to hold the pads out too far. But I always say that if you're holding pads for someone, the person striking is aiming for your face. So if you're holding pads too far, quite fortunately your head isn't this big. So just hold your pads relatively close, not too close to your face, and it comes with practice. And then next month we'll be moving on to some kickboxing skills, so introducing hip mobility, balance, focus, and kicking, whilst also including the boxing skills that we've already learned. So just teaching someone who's never thrown a kick before how to do the roundhouse in a way that they maintain balance and that they don't injure themselves or their partner, which is a very important thing. So that's where we start talking about the warm-up and the cool-down. Unfortunately, for the past 2 weeks, not really got a cool-down in, but it's very important to make sure that after you've done so much vigorous hard work that you do actually stretch off at the end as well. So when we start doing the kicking, the hip tension and the tightness around the hip joints is going to start showing itself. So making sure that people properly cool down is very, very important. So I need to make sure that I'm also practicing and learning new mobility skills, which I know, but it's always handy to have that extra little knowledge. Outside of classes, the next steps for me is, I get paid soon, so for my actual job, I'll be getting a DBS in, and I need to get some posters printed off and get them spread out. Really focusing at the moment on social media and trying to just get the posts out on Instagram and Facebook. We recently opened a Facebook page, so making sure that we're staying present and staying in the public eye. Just sharing that poster, sharing that information, just making sure that people can access it and that we're there in front of their faces all of the time. At the moment, in terms of YouTube, it is likely that I'm only going to be doing a video every 2 weeks for the moment, simply because there's so many busy things at the moment, with my own career, running the club, family responsibilities and duties, and getting the ability to film. At the moment, I've told my wife to go sit upstairs, you know, just so I can get this filming done, and that'll change as we go. And thinking of new topics to film. Eventually I will get a tripod so I can put it up in the class, and then also have a mic. A mic is very important, that's also another thing I need, but looking online, it's looking at nearly 200 quid for a decent mic, or nearly 100 quid for one of these clip-on things. So we're going to grow here, we're going to grow in the club, and it's just making sure that I stay consistent, stay disciplined, and just keep working at it. It'll all work out in the end, right? So guys, that's it at the moment. Hopefully I got everything out. So we spoke about end of the first week and how I felt about my first session, the second class, and then the second week. The kit, I'm very happy with everything that I bought. Possibly bought a little bit too much, but it's there if people need it. If not, people will go out. Someone already has gone out and bought their own kit, so that means I can take one pair of gloves, one pair of pads, a couple of pairs of sticks, and I won't need to carry them around because someone's already got it. But I've certainly got loads of spares. Next for me is just getting posters printed off, getting them up, so you know, you get a lot on social media, but not everyone focuses on what's there. They just tend to just scroll and scroll and scroll. But if it's there on a billboard, or if it's there on a, I don't know, one of them chalkboards that they've got up in a pub or local community centres, Asda is always a good one, because I think a lot of them do these boards, stick some posters up in work. I'll be handing them out to people in the class as well. Here, go put that up somewhere, see if anyone that you work with is interested. So hopefully we start growing that way. Yeah, I think that's everything for me so far. So guys, thank you very much for watching, and let me know if there's anything that you'd actually like to see. Do you want to see how I write a class? Do you want to see me teaching a class? Do you think there's anything that I'm missing? Do you think there's anything I could consider? Would you like longer videos? Would you like just shorts? Eventually I will be trying out doing short videos, but we're still growing. I'm still learning. This is always going to be a learning process for me. But yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Maybe in a week, maybe in 2. I don't know. We'll try. See you later. Bye bye.